everyone, I'm JD, welcome back to my channel. So here is the next part in the series for the Make a Junk Journal With Me series, where we're making an envelope journal. And this part is doing the cover. So I have my envelope here, and then I have my wallpaper that I'm going to use for my front cover and then the inside cover. I'm just going to fold over my envelope first. Alright, so there we go. I'm actually going to close up the envelope too. You could leave it if you want a pocket, but I'm just going to cover everything up with the wallpaper. So I will close that up. Okay. So I'm going to grab my front piece of wallpaper. Let's move that out of the way for the moment. And this will go on the front like this. So I'm going to use my craft glue. I get questions about what glue I use. This is just what I have, so I use this clear craft glue. And then I'm just going to glue all across the front cover except for the very outside. So I will leave about 1 centimetre around the edges because that's where I'm going to sew. And I am very generous with the glue because I don't want any air bubbles or anything like that. Okay, and then I will place my wallpaper on top. Just turn it over so I can see that I've got it all on there. And then my little tip is just do one side first. So we're just going to do this one side, let it dry, and then that way we can come back and do this side later and it won't buckle or anything. So now I'm going to do the inside cover here, working with one side first. Hang on a second. Keanu! My cat is just chewing things he's not supposed to be chewing. Alright, now let's grab my little wallpaper for the inside pieces. And the great thing is that this wallpaper actually fits exactly perfectly for the front covers. So I love that. But before I do that, I'm actually just going to trim the outer edges of this side so that's easier to work with later. And yeah, like I mentioned in the previous video, which I'll actually link below if you missed the intro video showing the materials you need to make this journal, you can adapt all the materials. So if you don't have wallpaper, that's no problem. Use some scrapbook paper or some pretty pattern paper. And the way that I'm doing it, of course you can do it however you want. You can make it so it folds over and you flip it down, flip it down, flip it down, and then you put the paper on top. But the idea with the Make a Junk Journal With Me series is that you do it the same way I do it, just for something different. And it's by no means the best way. It's by no means the only way. It's just one way to do it. And I'm choosing a very simple, quick and easy way, just to show you how quick and easy it is. So there is the front cover. How pretty is that? So now I'm going to add the inside of this cover, and I'll just do the same thing, which is glue all around the inside, leaving 1 centimetre around the edges. So yeah, it's just something for you to try, just a different way of making something. And then you always have it in your toolkit if you ever want to revisit it. Or you can always adapt it and change it to whatever suits you. But obviously if you don't have wallpaper and you're going to use paper, or even if you are using wallpaper, you're going to have to measure it and cut it down to size. So I've pre-cut these pieces so that they're loosely the size of the envelope. So just going to move this across a little bit more, so there's a little bit of a gap there. Perfect. And it just makes it so great because it leaves the gap in the middle to be able to fold. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is fold it and see if I've got that matched up properly. Okay, and then I'm going to just trim off the top and the bottom. And the other idea with the Make a Junk Journal series, or Make a Junk Journal with Me series, is that it's not edited, it's not sped up, and there's no voiceover or anything. It's all done in real time, so that you can actually make your journal at the same time I am in real time with the video playing. Of course, you can always pause, rewind, and keep going back if you need to over a section. That will always be there for you to do that. But the idea, I thought, it's just nice to see it in real time, mistakes and all, you know, all that kind of thing. Alright, so we'll fold that over, and now that is nice and it won't buckle once I glue this side. So I'm just going to flip it over and do the same for the back cover. We're going to glue all of the middle part, leaving a centimetre gap. And of course, if you don't have a sewing machine, you'll glue right up to the edges. And if you have a different type of glue, that's fine too. If you just want to use a glue stick, or if you want to use PVA or some sort of glue with a brush, whatever you have is fine. And I can see Keanu's hair stuck in the glue. Not that it matters, it's all going to get covered over anyway, isn't it? So let's move that across. And then I'm just going to open it up. And then just make sure it isn't buckling or anything. So we'll extend that a bit more. I'm going to score that, or not score, but just press it down and then fold it over, and then that's good. Okay. So yeah, don't forget that step of opening it up, just to make sure everything is good. Alright, and now I might do that a few times just because it moves and molds with the glue as the glue dries. And then I'll cut it down and trim off the excess. Sorry about that, phone cut off. So picking up straight up where I left off, cutting off the excess. Alright, so there's my back and front. Oop. I can just tell I need to cut off this bit a little bit more. Hang on. So I've got a bit of buckling going on here, so let me just see if I can spread it out just a little bit more. Again, it doesn't matter too much if there is buckling, you just don't want it to be massive. And then we'll go ahead and glue inside here. Okay, so I do apply a lot of glue, and I'll grab my other piece here, and we're just going to glue that down. lining it up to the edge, and then I love this, how it's just exactly got enough to fold here, and the outside piece of wallpaper is enough to reinforce that spine. But if you're using paper, you can definitely just put a whole sheet across, or reinforce the spine if you want with another piece of paper, or washi tape or something like that. But if you want to do exactly what I'm doing, you just cut one section here, one section there, and the outer section is one long piece. And just trim off the edges. So for those people who bought the Make a Journal kit, it's just hit or miss where you'll find where the flowers are. So this one has a blue flower, this one doesn't, for example. And this one, it has 2 stripes of the flowers, but yours might only have 1 stripe. It just depends on where the cut happened with the wallpaper. So yep, there we go. And so I'm actually going to take this to my sewing machine, and then I'll bring it back and I'll show you what it looks like once I've sewn. But basically I'm going to go all the way around the edge, as close to the edge as possible, then I'm going to go around again, and then I'm going to go down here, so you can see what I've done with my personal one. And like, my stitching isn't perfect. I wanted kind of that messy look here, just the handmade charm to it, and so that's what it looks like. So I will come back soon, or well, straight away for you, like magic. I'll be back in an instant and show you what it looks like with the sewing. Okay, so back again to show you the journal cover now that it has the sewing. You can see the kind of messy stitching here, and I think the sewing just adds so much. It finishes the look, and I love the contrast stitching with the black on the white, and I love it. So I'm just going to trim off the threads. I mean, you could leave them if you wanted to, if you like that look. Some journals I leave them, other ones I don't. So this one I'm going for more the clean look with this journal, so I'm going to cut them all off. And there it is. There is our finished journal cover. So I hope you had fun doing that, whether you used the kit, or if you had your own wallpaper, or if you just used some pretty papers. Really, really quick and easy, nice and simple, especially that method of just cutting around the edges. You don't have to fold anything over. And as you can see, it's just nice and even around the edges. We're all good there. And I just love that it fits there with the fold. So that's just one method of doing it. I hope that was helpful. In the next video, we will move on to doing our pages, folding them and arranging them and all that kind of thing. So let me know if you're joining in, and feel free to share a photo of your progress, your journal, and the materials you're using in the Willow Bound Journals Facebook group. Or tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see what you're making for this Make a Junk Journal with Me series. If you have any questions too, just let me know in the comments, or jump onto the Willow Bound Journals group and ask there, because other people might be able to answer you too. But hopefully this series is nice and easy, and is a way for you to make your own junk journal. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.